Alright, going to start playing something new. I've only ever played it once through. It's called Immortal Unchained. I got it on a sale on Steam and I played through it, not really expecting much. I hadn't really heard much about the game and I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I thought I would record it. It's pretty good. I'm pretty shit at it, but we'll give it a bash. Just don't expect miracles, so we'll just start up a new game. Sure you want to start a new game? Confirm. So it's kinda like I suppose people are saying that it's like Dark Souls but with guns. It kinda is. We'll go male because my first character I made was female when I played through it before. So let's have a look. I think we'll probably go a marksman again. I quite like the marksman. You use sniper rifles and handguns if you want. So I think we'll make a marksman this time. I'm not really too bothered about how the customization. We'll make him bright red, why not? Hairstyle, we'll go badass mohawk. Base details, again I'm not too bothered. I don't think. I will give him the big beard there, why not? And we'll make it white and white. That'll do it. A head tattoo. I'm not really bothered with that as well. We'll just do no tattoo. Body tattoo. We'll give him. That'll do it. Tattoo colour. Oh Jesus. We'll just go with a normal boring black. So that'll do it. Are you finished and want to begin the game? Continue.
In an age long since forgotten, a prophecy once told that there would come a time when the sun would grow dark and cold. A bone-chilling wind would surge from the deepest pits of the abyss. The dead would rise in its wake. Harbingers of destruction and despair. Left to its own, this wind would bring war. War that would ravage the 9 planets. Beasts would break their bonds and flood the soil with their poison. One by one, we would all wither away to nothingness, unless we were willing to make impossible choices. Warriors of legend would rise once again. Black of heart they would be. This is the day of prophecy. This is the end of times.
He's Captain Potnoodle the prisoner. And this is us now in. Now this is it's kinda like the tutorial area. Teaches you all the buttons. Kinda similar, again, if you want to compare it to anything, kinda like the Dark Souls games.
Quickly, go forth and find the Grand Hall.
Can you not just wait about and take me there, instead of me having to fucking find it? Anyway, so I just played this game through once. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the whole feeling and the vibe of it. I'd heard kind of mixed reviews on it before I got it. I kind of looked at the reviews and some people saying it's bitchy that, and okay, it's crashed a couple of times at different bits, but nothing too bad. So this is how we use the dodge mechanic. If I didn't dodge through them, obviously I would probably be killed. This is, I think, where we're ultimately going, and it uses, is it Kyrium or Cerium Decree? I'm not too sure. I'm going to call it Kyrium Decree. Cerium Decree? No, I'll call it Cerium Decree. Tiny capsule, small energy potion. Save your progress at the obelisk. Bits is kind of like, again, like Souls from the Souls games. And it's the same way. If you die, they kind of drop and you need to go collect them again, but it's not like the same way as the Surge where you had a time limit to go and collect them. Obelisks, they are kind of, they basically are your bonfires, if you will, but this is the only place that you can equip weapons. You can level up here, you can level your character's attributes, aspects. You can travel between points. Eventually you can travel between points. So this is basically, the obelisk is basically this game's version of a bonfire. So we'll go this way first. This is us. We've got a pistol now from here, and you can explore. I'm not intending to do too much exploring, except for maybe to find like better weapons or something. I'm not too bothered about collecting all the lore things. If I find lore along the way, I will, of course, pick it up. But this is the combat. Locks on exactly the same. Aim, but in this game, obviously, it's more aimed at the shooting side of things rather than the melee combat. There is melee combat, but I found it to be quite. It's more of a finishing off an enemy more than fighting an enemy with it. You probably has viable builds to using melee, but I didn't really find it too useful, to be honest. Because the first character I tried to make a strength build, and I got so far and just couldn't really get anywhere with it because I felt like I didn't have enough weapons that required strength builds at that point in the game, so I kind of took a different route. So this is basically just, this is just a tutorial area. This is your kind of first harder enemy. I don't know if this is a beginner's trap enemy or not. I didn't die to it the first time I played, but I think that was more because I had experience with similar games. So I don't know, I think it might be a beginner's trap because he's quite a difficult enemy to fight at this point, because like, you don't really hit him very hard. He's got quite a lot of energy. So it's more just dodging around the back, shooting him in the back, and like B's like your dodge again. It's not like a kind of roll. You can roll, but it's like you kind of slide more out the way. He's not the hardest enemy, but I think I don't know if he's meant to be a beginner's trap or not. I don't know if it was maybe a cruel joke in the developer's part. But yeah, he's not too hard. Again, you just shimmy around the side of him. I think it's meant to be a collective knowledge thing. Once you know all the buttons, you can take on someone that's a wee bit more than just walks at you. Somebody that just walks at you. So I think you're meant to really. There is a special move, as it says up there. You hold in R and it does this it's like a freeze blast. Every gun has different, like different guns have different abilities. But to be quite honest with you, I didn't really use it too much playing through the game. Didn't use a lot of it. I don't know why. I kind of forgot a lot of the times that the button was actually there, and I didn't really find many uses for it. Something just shining off there. So this, the thing that we're coming up to now, just get these bits. This thing we're coming up to now is an armour shrine. This basically upgrades your character. All of them do different things. This one is increases primary ammunition by 20%, so it means I can hold more ammo. You get ones that increase your the damage you can take. Other ones increases your syringe capacity, which is basically an Estus flask. Grenades, that kind of thing. And the more that you collect, the more you see your guy getting armoured out, more that you see your character being upgraded. So the thing with the Cerium Decrees is that you get them in your inventory. It comes under as a key item, right? So I have one. Now, Cerium Decrees are used to measure of worth. As a measure of worth, allowing access to selected areas depending on gathered amount. So you collect these and you can use them to open up doors, you can use them to cross bridges, you can use them to open up loot boxes, as we'll see with this bridge here. You can open it up. It took me a very long time. When I played through the first game, it wasn't until I had fully beaten the game that I actually thought that once I did that, I used the Cerium Decree to open the bridge. I thought it was a consumable. I didn't realise that you just held it, and the more that you have, the more things that you can open with higher numbers of them, because you get lots of them as the time goes on. It's like, I think I've got 30 odds in one of my characters. So I looked at that and thought, right, I've used one up, I need to find another one if I want to open up some of the Cerium Decree. So there was a lot of times I was looking at boxes and thinking, no, I'm not going to open that because I might need it for something more useful. I might need it to cross a bridge, not realising that, you know, I have them all the time anyway. So this is our first basic shooting enemy we're coming across. As you can see, we're not really doing much with a pistol now for some reason. These guys throw grenades and they shoot at you. You can free aim for the head, but I'm using a controller, which usually gives you all sorts of grief. The bar underneath their health is called stability. As you could probably tell from when it was decreasing, once it reaches 0, it turns into a stagger animation. Get more bits here. Now, if I remember right, there was a wee path that you can go down and you cross another bridge and you get a really good weapon. I think you needed your Cerium Decree again. It's down here, but it activates a lot of mobs when you go down here. I don't give it a shot. Maybe I should have. Right, I've got my. You get grenades as well. These reset at obelisks, so they're like an unlimited amount. Well, you've got a limited amount when you carry them, but you don't have to find them or pick them up. I think what we'll do is we'll just go for this strong box. Heal up. So that gives us a better pistol. I'd quite like to be a wee bit stronger, maybe, because I don't seem to be doing much damage to them. You can hit them in the back, but I'd maybe rather just do that. Maybe we'll just move them out of the way, because I want to get back to an obelisk and equip my sniper rifle, because I picked up a long rifle further back. So we'll go back this way. It's not a bad tutorial level, and I was reading the patch notes. I'm on the Discord for the developers Discord for the game, the official Discord, and they were talking about patch notes, and what they've done is they've actually nerfed the tutorial boss, which I found quite weird because he's not very hard. Well, I didn't find him very hard. So I need. The requirements are It's finesse and perception. That's what they do. It took me a while to kind of figure out what ones is what. Finesse, reload speed, perception as you need a lot of perception and a lot of finesse for sniper rifle builds. So that's what I'll be going for mostly. I'll be getting my perception and my finesse up. I think expertise is good to have as well, because that's normal scaling on weapons and special scaling on weapons. You get normal scaling and special scaling on weapons. I think that's expertise and insight do they too, and that depends on the type of weapon. You get like energy weapons, acid weapons, fire weapons, frost weapons. They all use different scalings. So we'll just go for perception just now, because I need a lot of perception as the game goes on. Perception and finesse mostly. I didn't really bother with endurance too much. You don't need to run away because you're kind of hitting things for distance and stuff. Expertise, insight, perception, finesse. That's probably the main things that I'll be going for. Maybe a wee bit of points thrown in at other places. So we'll do that. We've equipped my long rifle. You don't get much ammo for these. I think this was the way I came. Yeah, it was the way I came. But they hit quite hard. They're quite hard hitting, especially if you manage to get a bit of distance. And there you go. You get. And sometimes you can get them in the back because you're quite far away. So that's always good. Over here. I get to my. He's not giving us grief right now. We'll just. As you can see, you can free aim, and you can get it's aspects they call them. You can get ones that like increase your lock-on range and stuff, so which would be pretty good for sniper rifles, I guess. But if you're a wee bit wary or a wee bit more conny with where you're going, you can small box. You can pick them for distance without them seeing you first. It's better to try and shoot them in the back, because most enemies have a weak spot on their back. It's like, it looks like a kind of a generator type battery pack power thing, because a lot of them look like kind of robots and stuff. A worn rapier. Yeah, a lot of them look like robots, so it looks like it's like an energy source on their back, which usually scores a critical hit. Especially on bosses, it's pretty good to try and get in at the back of them. You'll see that with a few bosses I fight. So we'll equip that. That's the melee weapon. Again, I don't think we can level up again, so I'll go another one for perception. Maybe try and get my perception to 20, then my finesse to 10. Because there is a sniper rifle you get later on. I think it needs 30 perception and 20 finesse, and it's really, really good. I used it to the end of the game, so that's the main goal. So we'll go this. Press X to make a melee attack. So this is your melee attack. You can't do like combos as such. You can just roll through this as well. That's as much as you can do as a melee attack. So doing a build as a melee attack, there's no charge up hits. You can't roll and do an attack. That is what you're limited to, and it uses a hell of a lot of stamina to do it. It's like, so it's more used just to finish enemies off. So if I shoot him twice, then I would see it's quite hard to get the melee to work, especially at this point in the game, because they just stagger you. So that's a perfect example there of why I don't use melee. And you get to see the kill screen. Now, I don't intend to die a lot playing this, but if I do die a lot, there's something funny that happens when you reach 100 deaths, and I had to actually look it up because I thought my game had maybe went weird. Gonna throw a grenade. So I'm going to use a syringe, and it's basically just an Estus flask. You get things that increase the capacity and the potency of them. More bits, it's always good to have more bits. And this is where it teaches you how to sprint. I've been kind of sprinting anyway, but this is where it teaches you. The first time I did this I died, don't know why, you just sprint through. I think that's like an instant kill. See, sometimes you get good crit hits on them, and it makes like they lose their appendages, which is great when you're fighting certain things, because if you shoot them and they breaks an arm off, chances are they'll drop their weapon and then they can't hit you, but they'll just slowly walk towards you. And eventually get to you. This is it just teaching us about the lock on. But obviously if you've played a kind of Souls kind type game before, I think they're classing this as a Souls game, I guess it is. Very, very similar in some aspects, but I just love the whole... Right, so we'll finish him off with melee because we can. And I think that's the end of it through there. I think that's where the boss, the tutorial boss is. But if I go through all this mess... It's just, don't have much ammo for that's the only downfall to the sniper rifles, is you've got to be very, very wary of ammo. You can get consumables which are ammo packs. This is one of the lower items, an ancient shard. Since its discovery, the core has been expanded upon by the Prime. The prison complex in the lower levels houses the most dangerous criminals in the cosmos. So basically what they're saying here is we were a prisoner. And obviously, as you seen for the start, we were broken from our chains. And okay, so that's a kind of shortcut to the tutorial boss. I'll just do this. I'll put reload speed, perception. We'll go one more perception. I will also put TRM syringes. They're kind of like a heal over time effect. And you can get lots and lots of them, so I'm going to equip them to my hotbar because they're quite good to have if I ever run out of syringes. The other one that I'm going to do for now is a small ammo pack. If I run out of ammo, I can pop that and it gives me more ammo for my weapons. There is a thing, I'm going to try and just run through this stuff. I don't want to fight any and waste ammo. There is an aspect that you get that when you kill an enemy with a specific weapon, it grants you one ammo back. So when you eventually get to a point where you're one-shotting a lot of enemies with a sniper rifle, you can just run on unlimited ammo, basically. So this is where we fight our first boss. This is where we're introduced to our first boss anyway, the tutorial boss, which they nerfed. They nerfed this boss, and I don't know why, because he's not really hard. It has a few moves you need to watch because he will one-shot you. But he's got a lot of tails, so it's kinda... And he becomes a normal trash mob, as does with the Dark Souls games later on. But I didn't find him... Like, he's got this spray move, he's also got this charge, and this is where you can get a shot on his back. Let's see, look at the damage, he's been nerfed. I mean, that never used to be as bad as that before. So you're basically just waiting till he charges, and then shoot him in the back. So that's how easy... I don't know why they've made him that easy. It was a lot tougher the first time I fought him. It wasn't as hard as that. I don't think he should be as nerfed as much as that. Viridian shotgun, a common shotgun. Though I won't be using much of the shotguns. They're sidearms. They're kind of, you get 4 slots. You get 2 main slots, which is your top one and your bottom one. They're your 2 main weapons, and your right and left are your side weapons. So I loved this bit when I was doing it the first time. It's like an elevator up to the Grand Hall, and that's where I'm going to be ending the episode after we've done the Grand Hall. But I love that, it just stops and shows you the space. Looks like you're looking down on a planet. And that, in the middle of the Grand Hall, is the monolith. Now, the first part to the story is you have to go to 3 separate worlds, and you have to find relays so that you can interface with the monolith. This is the guy, obviously, he tells you all about what your purpose is and stuff. So here's another shard. Singing Rock, the monolith and its extensions are built of the material unlike anything else. Holding a piece of unknown mineral sends a humming sound into the cerebral cortex. Some swear they have heard voices beneath the noise. So make that real. So this is like it says there, 1 of 6 cerium decrees. Well, I didn't click that you didn't use it as a consumable, the cerium decrees. I thought you just used it up and that was it. So let's talk to Captain Sunshine here.
You live. There is yet a chance to reverse this. Do not be alarmed if you have no recollection. The detention affects the mind. As such, you stand within the Grand Hall, the only sanctuary remaining. But that too is in jeopardy. The undead are unrelenting. As the monolith weakens, so does our protective shield. We face a grave threat. You seem to be our last hope. Before you stands the monolith, keeper of the cosmos, anchor of reality. I am its steward. We have much to discuss. Join with the monolith. Go and become one with it. Sadly, this is but a glimmer of what it once was. Yet it still has the power to bestow what it finds necessary. Soon to be reborn, if you do what is needed.
So basically, this is what we're doing. We're basically making the monolith part of what it used to be. So this is memorials. These are little bits of lore scattered about. The core sits at an absolute centre of the cosmos. Portals connect the Grand Hall to the 9 realms through the stream. What we got here? Forlorn Idol. Aris always felt a strong connection to the stream and helped engineer the portals in the core. He was appointed as keeper once the portals were open. That's who Captain Sunshine is here. He is the...
Go join with the monolith.
So this is where we interface with the monolith.
It is said that in the beginning there was light, and the great monolith revealed itself. Born from this was the stream, flowing, binding, and creating the cosmos and all within it. Stars and planets formed, and life followed. This was the dawn of all races. But as the first children of the monolith explored the power of the stream, their worlds collided. Ultimately, one race would strive for power. They were the Prime, and the instigators of the Prime Azurian War. With their victory, the Prime claimed the core, and with it, the home of the monolith. It bestowed great power unto them, and gave them dominion over all life. Great cities were built. Technological advancements and trade allowed the worlds to flourish and bloom. Thus, the Golden Age began. This was the time of heroes, where legends were born and their stories told. And so it was for eons. But this was not to last. An evil is spreading through the cosmos. all is in jeopardy.
So, we seem to be the last hope of stopping this evil that's spreading through the cosmos by bringing the monolith back to its original power. By bringing back the relays from 3 different locations, the first one being through here. This is a place called Arden. It's like a snow world, and it turns into like a kinda, you kind of go inside, it looks like a kind of base facility type place. So you can actually level up at the monolith as well, which is a good thing. I can equip the shotgun if I so want, but I would quite like to get that one, so we'd need for a finesse, 10 finesse, because it's a lot better. So I don't have the funds just now, but that's what I maybe do. I maybe get my finesse to 10. Aspects I have. The only one I have so far is Aquila. Deal 8% increased damage with ranged weapons at long range, which is 16 plus meters. So a lot of things we're going to be fighting will probably be at a distance, so that's a good one to have. The next one I quite like is obviously the one that you regain ammo. And if I can get 2 Aquilas and a ammo regeneration one, we should be peachy keen. So that will be the first episode, which is the introductory to the game. Next time we'll be going through here and seeing how well we do, but until that day, I will see you next time. Cheers!